So a lot of you have been wondering like where Diary of a Scorn Timeshare Queen came from. And it's actually kind of a funny story, but it's my story, if you haven't gathered that. But timeshare is kind of one of those things that, you don't necessarily want to like let people know you do because it's a scorn word. But that it did to me, like it scorned me. Kind of made me jaded, but you know what, with everything all said and done, being out of it for almost a year, it's been the most rewarding year, and I can't say that I want to relive all the memories, but yeah, I basically did timeshare for a company that's two colors, put it together, if you know timeshare, for about 7.5 years. It was one of the best careers ever, but it also was one of the worst ones, because where money comes, partying comes, drama comes, bad people that you don't want to meet in your life, bad choices, lies, like, it's just a lot. You get caught up in the drama because your work is like your family, your friends, and you make a lot of money, and it's fun for a while, but then like once you get into the nitty gritty and you're like working on yourself and you're like excited and you're planning for the future, and as a woman you always want to strive for more. And when I had men saying like, oh, you're a manager, like that's weird, like I never would have dreamed you would be a manager, knowing you from before when I was like 22, 23, 29 now, so earned my keep, I think. Oh, you're the only woman manager? Yeah, it's funny, like when people would steal your ideas and pass them off on your own, or basically just put you down because you're a woman. That's not cool. I was the only woman in management, and I felt like repressed. And with all this stuff going on with Black Lives Matter, like I understand a little bit different, or I feel a little bit different about it, because I can understand a little bit, because I do feel like I was discriminated, not because of the color of my skin, just because I was a woman in a man's world, so maybe that helped with more of the scorning too, because I was always looking for like, oh, what man's gonna put me down today, like and then I would also on the flip side get motivated by like, oh, this is a man's world, like I'm gonna dominate it. But at the end of the day, I looked at like the amount of time that I was investing in this career and all the things that I was missing out on. I moved for my career and I lost my grandfather, which I highly, highly, highly regret missing that time because of my career, looking, at what I know now. I just missed a lot of events. Everybody had to plan around me, and it just wasn't fair, like long hours. My family wasn't more important than anybody else's. And it's just, I learned that life is way too precious. I lost so many people in the last couple of years. And, the biggest one was losing my grandfather. That really allowed me to put life back into perspective and kind of completely lose myself, to rebrand myself, so to speak, or to, I don't have really the words, I guess the best is, you have to completely lose yourself to find yourself again. And that has been the biggest thing to me, like, do what you want to do in life, do it really, do it honestly, do it truthfully, don't hold back, don't morph yourself into this person that you're not anymore. I woke up one day and I was like, what about me? Like, what about what I want? What about my hopes? What about my dreams? I'm gonna be 30 this year, and I'm like, what's going on? And it's just, I couldn't put those aside anymore, and I don't want to. And I don't want others either to do that, because then you're not living for you. And my biggest thing was, number one, heal myself, but also help others in the middle of it. If I'm going through this, then understand somebody else is going through it. And a lot of the times, we just hold in or repress it because we don't feel like it's acceptable to talk about. We can talk about anything in today's age. Like, don't hold back on anything. And when I started my blog, I kind of just wanted to journal, but then I realized this was more. It was more like a self-development, a mindset journey, like just looking at things differently, and then that kind of dove into manifestation, and then I got my coaching certificate, and I'm not really sure where all of this stuff is gonna go, but I know that the best is yet to come. It's only up from here. I listened to a podcast today, and it's funny because it resonated with a conversation I had this morning, and actually one of my good friends was like, oh, you should go back to the company that you quit almost a year ago. Like, you can make $10,000 a month with your eyes closed. Like, it's awesome. But that's the thing. Like, I already know what it is. You already know the devil. So, when I quit, I didn't know what was on the other side. I just knew I wasn't going to be at a resort. I wasn't going to be in that sort of a timeshare experience anymore. And that's the thing. I already know that. You already know what our past is, or you've already known what you've been through. You know how to get through that. So why go back to it? Use it as your backup plan. But that's not my backup plan. I've come so far in the last year and in the last 2 years, because the anniversary of my grandfather's 2-year death was actually the other day, and it's like, yeah, it was devastating. Yes, I miss him. Yes, I want to tell him everything, and yes, it sucks that he's not here, but like he truly is here with me every day, and I have to learn to live to keep making him proud, even though he's not here. He can still see everything. So to go back to the devil, so to speak, or what I had as such a traumatic time, and obviously it took a lot for me to leave something of 7.5 years, because I grew up in the mentality of you work at a job and it just is what it is, and you just do that job forever and ever and ever. Like, my parents have been at the same jobs for 35, 40 years, and it's just like my brother's been at the same job that he's been at since 17, so it's weird that I'm the oddball out. But I'm done living life for somebody else. I'm done wiping somebody else's butt. I'm done waking up and going to a job. If you call it a job or you call it work, then maybe that's not for you. If you go there every day and you're not happy, or you're not making the difference that you want in life, then maybe, reevaluate it. And that was what I did. A lot of people, I hope, took this whole quarantine at home thing serious, and maybe you saw that you don't need that 9 to 5 anymore that made you miserable. You don't need that boss anymore that made you miserable. You can do it. You evolved. This quarantine, sticking us all at home and kind of making us adapt to the uncomfortable was a beautiful thing for a lot of people. For me, in the beginning, it was very hard because of the unknown. I liked to know, the future and everything, but it was very hard. But then, I kind of had to look at it in a different perspective, because this is what we all wanted. If you sat and said, oh my God, I never wanted this, this is terrible, you're a liar. We all wanted a reset button, we all wanted some time off, or we all wanted something like this. Did we know it was going to be this? No, but this was our time to get our priorities straight. This was our time to look ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, I like this person, or I don't really like this person I'm staring at, or who's staring back at me. How do I change this? How do I get better? And that's the journey. I'm in the middle of writing an ebook right now about self-development and mindset, and what you have to do continuously every day to be clear and to be focused on what you want, because it's so easy that we can put ourselves in the back burner. It's so easy that, we'll do it tomorrow. No, when's the best time to do something for you? Now. When's the best time to work on you? Now. When's the best time to make money? Now. When's the best time to take action? Now. So what are you doing sitting back? And that was my thing. Like, I was always scared of the uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, they're gonna judge me and say, oh, look what she's doing. She quit timeshare. She thinks she's gonna, do this and that. Oh, she'll be back. She'll fail. I don't want to be back. I already know where that could be, and a lot of things would have to change in that world for me to want to go back, for me to be comfortable to go back. If I did go back, the the reason would be money, but you know what? If I'm this excited about myself, this excited about the journey that I'm on, this excited that, you know, I'm spreading my message for the world to see, I'm sure the rest will come to place, you know, if I do the work. Now, if I don't, then I'm probably going to end up right back there, but hopefully not, you know. So that's what this is about, you know, about getting better. Yeah, the name sounds kind of, you know, bad, but it's like, you know what, this is who I am. This was what my last 7 years were, or 8 years, or 7.5, whatever. It's been a huge part of my life, and, you know, now I'm ready to close that one and just be a better person. You know, do I want to erase the whole chapter? No, because that's who, or what made me who I am today, and I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I would, but you get what I mean. But, you know, so I'm super excited about what's to come, and there's a lot to come, you know, and it may just be videos on YouTube, it may just be a vlog, but I just know that somewhere out there, somebody's gonna resonate with where I'm at, and, you know, I'm gonna help them. And if that's all that this comes to, yay hoo Mountain Dew. But the bigger thing is, I know I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be that realer, as I say, because you're probably like, be a better, realer version of yourself. Yeah, be that person. Like, you know, when I was deciphering through, you know, where I got lost, I'm like, where's that little girl that had like the fire, and like, you know, she was loud and she was just, you know, where is she? You know, and as one of my old bosses would say, he's like, where's that BITCH at the bar that I'm at? You know, and it's like, where do these people go? But they get lost in the daily bull crap, the conditioning, you know. We're born a blank slate, but with all this stuff in the world and social media and, you know, we're bogged down, but we choose that for ourselves. We're the only ones that can make or break these 2 inches, and that's what you need to worry about. That's who you need to love. That's who you need to make sure at the end of the day is accepting of your choices. It's you. It's nobody else, because guess what? You are your own best friend, and you have to deal with yourself every day. You have to look yourself in the mirror. You have to own up to whether you were lying to yourself, whether you lied to somebody else, or whether you don't feel good about an action that you took. You and you have to own up to each other. So why not work on you? Why not put yourself first? Why would you want to pollute your own self with all this crap? You know, and furthermore, why do we give ourselves the negative self-talks that we do? You know, if you can ask yourself, like, oh, I've said this to myself, or I think this about me, or whatever, would you say that stuff to a stranger? And if you can say, yeah, I wouldn't say that to a stranger, like the things you say to yourself, why do you say them to yourself? If you wouldn't say that to a stranger, why would you say them to yourself? Not that a stranger doesn't like hold more value, but it shouldn't hold more value than yourself. You know, obviously be polite to everybody, but you know yourself. You're supposed to love yourself. You're supposed to be your own best friend. So why would you put yourself here, and why would you put that stranger here, and why would you talk nicer to this stranger than yourself? You know, and it's just little things like that. You have to retrain your brain, but you know, the biggest thing is you gotta want it. You gotta want to change your life. You gotta want to change your mindset. You've gotta want to be a better person. You've gotta want to go on this journey to find that little girl, or find that BITCH at the bar, you know, and this is mine, you know. So you're gonna see a lot of different things. You might not love them, you might not agree with them, but you know, that's the beauty of it. We're all on a different journey. We all have different beliefs. We all have different understandings. You might not understand me, you know, but maybe this is not for you. Maybe my message isn't for you. It's not supposed to touch you in any way. Maybe you're like, oh, look, she's hot. That's great. But if you've gotten this far, that's probably not what you were doing. You know, you're probably on the same path as maybe I was when I was starting. You know, you're curious. You feel off, but you don't know where to start. And that's okay. You know, everybody's path to healing or self-development or, you know, mindset journey is all different, you know. So to say, oh my gosh, I'm here. Everybody's different, you know. You don't know where it starts, you don't know when it stops, you don't know when it ends, you know. But it's the best journey you and yourself are gonna go on together, you know, if you complete it. So my challenge to you is to worry about yourself, to love yourself, put yourself first, and you know, make sure you accomplish your self mission, your purpose, and you put yourself first. You live every day for what you want, your hopes, your dreams, your desires, and you never put them on the back burner. You never tell your inner child no. No, you can't do that, you know, or no, you're not that person, because guess what? You can do anything, you can be anything. It's just all. So, you know, I challenge you to follow along on my journey. I would love to help you with yours, but obviously it's up to you if you want any help, or if you're like, I can't deal with this girl. I get it. Sometimes I can't even deal with myself. But, you know, the best advice I can give you is it's okay to be uncomfortable, you know, and it's okay to fear of the judgment. But just know that nobody can judge you harder than yourself, and nobody's judgment should be more than yourself. So, you know, I thank you. If you've gotten to this part in the video, you're probably like, okay. But, you know, this is my channel. This is what it's all about. And like I was gonna say, if you've gotten this far, obviously you're pretty dedicated in either me or, you know, my message, and that's so awesome. You know, I love to know if you're out there watching, so leave a comment or go on my Instagram, send me a message and a friend request, and read my blog. So if you want to, my Instagram handle is Rachel, RACHEL, Britt, BRITT 24, and in my bio is the link to my blog and also my YouTube channel that you're on. So message me whenever, but thank you so much for believing in me and getting this far in the video, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.